in today's video I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about the changes and the new features that has been added to Linux Mint. So first things, as you can see, our desktop here, there is no icon, so this is by default. Every time you install Linux Mint from now on, you'll discover you will not have any desktop applications on your screen. So this is just to help clean up the desktop, but you can still add your own icons on the desktop with some settings turned on. So just by default, again, as you can see, we are now using a different caser which is called Bibata, as you can see. So that's a new caser name, and I'm going to show you more about it as we progress in the video. So, and as you can see, just by the bar at the bottom here, you will notice that you no longer have that icon which says show desktop. That is because it has been moved to the far right here. As you can see, that small block icon by the far end, that is now the new show desktop icon. So if I've got multiple apps on my desktop or maybe tabs, so I can easily minimize all this by clicking that same icon which is show desktop, and that will happen. So that's one of the new features that has been added to Linux Mint. And also now if we go under our settings here, as you can see, we now have our proper looking icons. As you can see, I love the new icons, they just look so modern. Okay, so we are going to look at some of the settings. So we'll go under settings here. So here, this is where now the looks and feels have changed. So under theme, so here under theme, as you can see, you've got a lot of things that have changed. And as you can see under mouse here, as you can see, we're using Bibata modern class. Okay, so as you can see, this is if you want to change it to the odd ones, you could do that. Or as you can see, you've got the white one and black one. So here you can choose between all these caser icons, as you can see. So your pointers, you can choose whichever you prefer. So the new one is preferably the one I like, so I'll leave it on that. Then also under applications, so here under buttons, as you can see, we can also click to check. So as you can see here, all the ones here, like the ones with Mint Y Legacy, these are the old icons or old buttons that you used to have on Linux Mint. But now we've got this new pack here, as you can see, this new section here. So this is the new modern icons that have been added to Linux Mint. So this is a new vibrant colors, as you can see. So you've got a wide range of options of what you can use from here. So as you can see, for buttons, I'm using this, and I'm also using that. So this is if you're in dark mode and you're in light mode. So as you can see, all these look very nice, and you can easily select whichever one you want. Okay, then also under the icons, as you can see, we are also using the new Linux Mint Y. Okay, and also as you can see, you also have the old icons, and you also have some of the new icons and some of the icons which you will find in Ubuntu, something like this, as you can see. So here you can easily select which ones you prefer to use. So the new one is also nice, or this Ubuntu one is also nice. So depending on your preferences, these are just some of the new icons that have been added to the new release. Okay, then also speaking of the desktop, here you can click desktop, and as well, as you can see, you've got a wide range of options of what you can use and what you can do as in terms of customization. So all this comes down to what's your preference, what do you like. So as I said, this is light mode, dark mode, and then you've got your legacy icons right there. So these are the new ones, as you can see, the top and the bottom one. Then you've got these old legacy ones, that's why they have legacy there. So this is also again down to preference, what do you like, what do you want. So that's just some of the new changes that have been done to the actual new Linux Mint release. So in terms of the theme and everything, so that's just part of it. And also under desktop here, this is where now if you want, now you can specify what you want to add on your desktop. As you can see, if you still want the icons there, and also this home has been added here under files, so you can click files, and then you can go to home. So this is up to you if you want to show all these icons. So I don't want to show on any of those icons, so I can just leave everything and tick the way it is. But that's just a tip for you if you still want your icons to show up on your desktop. That's the way you do it there. So now apart from that, we've got here backgrounds. So if you go in backgrounds, as you can see, you've got the Linux Mint. So this is the old Linux Mint setup, as you can see. So Vanessa was the previous version of Linux Mint. So these are the previous wallpapers that it had. But under Vera, you've got these new wallpapers, as you can see on the desktop here. So you can choose between a lot of things, a lot of wallpapers, as you can see. So I'll move this to the side so that you can see some of the new nice wallpapers. And also here you can select whichever wallpaper you want to have as well. So this is just some of the new wallpapers and new things that you have on Linux Mint. So here you can again choose whichever you prefer. I like it to be minimal, and you've seen you've got nice ones here, which I'm very happy, and the developing team did a very good job with this. And also, if you prefer, if you failed to find the right one, you like all of them, you can go here under settings and you can just select play background, and then you can set a slideshow. So meaning it will be changing the wallpapers one by one, if that makes you feel better. Because, and you can also change here what's the delay in minutes. So if you want to change every minute, I'll just set it to every minute I want a new background, and then it will do the rest for you. So this is if you fail to find the right one for you. Okay, and apart from that, also there's been some major changes with the driver manager. Okay, so if we do that, if we type in driver, from there on that search bar here, you find driver manager. You can click driver manager there, then that will launch our driver manager. So here there's a lot of changes that has happened to the driver manager itself. So meaning you now have offline mode, of which it will allow you to plug in a USB stick, and then you can update drivers from the USB stick or portable media. And also it has now been fully integrated with Flatpak, of which I'm going to also explain as we progress in the video. So you now have got Flatpak support, and we can now update our drivers for everything that we have on our system. And also one of the cool things that has been done with the driver manager itself is, as you saw, it never asked me for a password when I opened it. This is because it's running in user mode. So this is one of the new features that has been added to Linux Mint 21.1. So now you're running in user mode, meaning it is helping you to reduce the amount of times you're using your password to do certain simple tasks. So as you can see, it will just like look through all the drivers for your PC and check if there's any outdated drivers and update those as well. So I'll just quickly close this, since I did run this area when I was testing the distro here. Okay, so I'll just close this, and then we can look at some of the other things that has been added to Linux Mint. Okay, so one of the new things also that has been added apart from the changes that has been done to the driver manager is you now have full Flatpak support for any application on your Linux Mint system. So meaning you can install any Flatpak application on your store or terminal, and it's going to be fully supported with Linux Mint. So that's one of the big changes that has happened. And also, if you check now under your store here, as you can see under your store, you've got now full Flatpak support. And for example, certain apps like this Discord. So if you search for Discord now, you can install Discord with Flatpak, so which is very nice as well. So for example, Discord, that for example, just select that. From here, as you can see, you are now installing it with Flatpak. And also some of the applications you now have the chance or an option to either install it using do you install it using Flatpak. If they have the option, you'll see drop down link here to choose which manager you want to use. So this is one of the nice and interesting things that I've seen in Linux Mint. So from here, this is just one of the nice and interesting things that has been added to Linux Mint. And also there's some minor changes with the UI, as you can see here at the bottom. As you saw, this is what I was explaining. So now I've got the option to install this application using System Package Manager or Flatpak. So depending which one you prefer, this is something that I love with the new Linux release. So I'm happy about how it turned out. And also, apart from that, one of the other new features that has been added to Linux Mint is ISO verification. So let's say you've downloaded an ISO image, you want to make sure that it's fully verified, it's an original copy of it. So you would right click on the actual ISO file and you would want to click verify. Then once you click verify, you will see this screen here. So you just have to wait for this to calculate. That's when it will allow you to verify. So once you selected your ISO image, it will start calculating everything. Just give it some time, and you can verify the ISO image in 3 ways. So we're using local files or this checksum here. So once you do that, once this is done calculating, you click verify, then it will give you a message saying it has no issues, it's good. So meaning you can go ahead and write it to a disk. And now speaking of writing to a disk, there's also been some features added to the disk or the writer itself, so the image writer itself. So if I close these things right now and go on my Mint icon there and type in writer, okay, so under my USB image writer here, if you open it, you will notice now when writing an ISO image, for example, let me get the image there. Okay, so here you can select your USB stick like that as usual, but here also you now have got this verification. So you can click verify, which will open up the verifying screen that we saw earlier, and then once it's done calculating, you can do verify, so that it verifies that the ISO image you're about to use is alright. Then you can now click write, and right now you can also write using Windows ISO images. So now it will not fail when you want to write a Windows ISO image, but what it's going to do is also going to give you a proper documentation of how you can write Windows images using this image writer. So that's one of the things that has been added to this USB image writer. And also at the same time, you have this USB formatter. So if you type in formatter on your search bar here, you'll notice this USB stick formatter. If you click on that, as you can see now, you can select the USB stick you want to format and what method you want to use to format the disk. As you know, certain files or certain devices don't work using a different type of formatting tool, so you want to make sure you're formatting it the right way. So it does give you all those options. So if it's FAT32, you would do that, and then this will be the new name for the disk, so I can even rename it and format it. So that's one of the things that has been added to Linux Mint. And above all, Linux Mint uses the 5.6 Cinnamon version edition, and also apart from that, it uses a kernel which is 5.15. So the way you would check your kernel version, as you can see, as I said, the kernel version for Linux Mint 21.1 is 5.15. So the way we check that is by typing in uname-a on your terminal, press enter, and as you can see here, you get your system kernel version, which is 5.15 there. Okay, and as you know that Linux Mint is based off of the base of Ubuntu LTS long-term support, which is 21.04. So that's just some of the changes that has been added to Linux Mint. And also, if you like the video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit notifications so that you don't miss any time I release a new video. See you in the next one.